What if we told you there was a new rule that would have completely changed the outcome of the 2020 Australian Open? ATP's next-gen finals have experimented with rule changes. One of the most intriguing is a total overhaul of the way matches are scored. Under the experimental rules, games are played with no ad scoring. Then, only 4 games are needed to win a set, with a tiebreak at 3-all. And whoever wins the best 3 out of 5 sets wins the match. The next-gen finals designed the rule change to increase the number of pivotal moments in a match, without altering the number of games required to win a match from the traditional scoring format. This one rule change could make tennis even more exciting to watch, and has the ability to radically change the way the sport is played. So let's see how the results would change if we applied this new rule to the 2020 Australian Open. Would Kenin and Djokovic still be on top? Or is there a secret champion waiting in the wings? This is Replay, a series where we look at the way numbers have shaped the game we love. We'll start with Kenin. This year's WTA draw was full of upsets and surprises, so a rule change has much more potential to disrupt the outcome. We'll use the real results from the matches played, but divide up the games per the new rules. Okay, round 1. Sofia Kenin versus Italy's Martina Trevisan. Kenin jumps on the first set, winning 4-1. Early in the second set, we actually get our first instance of a rule change affecting the outcome. Kenin and Trevisan become tied at deuce. Now Kenin wins the next point, and at the time only had advantage, but Trevisan ultimately came back to win the game. However, with our new rule change to no ad scoring, Kenin takes it, and later, the second set. But remember that, unlike the usual WTA rules, they're playing best out of 5 sets, so we have to keep going. The third set actually goes to a tiebreak, which operates the same way as normal. First to 7 points wins. But because Kenin and Trevisan never went to an actual tiebreak, we have to get creative. Kenin won 68% of her service points during the real match, while Trevisan won 51%. So using a random number generator, we'll simulate the tiebreak. As long as the number that's generated is equal to or below the server's win rate, they hold. Kenin served in the tying game, so Trevisan starts the tiebreak. Trevisan holds. 0-1 Trevisan. Now Kenin. Kenin holds, and for the sake of time, we'll speed up the rest. Kenin wins. So that's how we simulate how each match could change. Following Kenin to the second round against fellow American Ann Lee, she wins again. And in the third round, she faces China's Zhang Shuai. Kenin loses. It comes down to 3 tiebreakers that we have to simulate, but every time, Zhang comes out on top. In this experiment, the actual tournament champion, Sofia Kenin, didn't even make it out of the third round. So the natural next question becomes, who does win? In order to answer that question, we have to simulate all 127 matches played in the women's singles draw, just like we did here. Let's go round by round. The first round didn't have any true upsets. Venus Williams takes Coco Gauff to 5 sets, but Gauff still manages to hold on. Aryna Sabalenka ends up booking herself a ticket to the second round over Carla Suarez Navarro, which most people probably expected to happen in real life anyway. Now, all in all, there were 4 matches that had their results changed under our new rule, and that makes the second round much more interesting. Let's look at Sabalenka's match against Iga Swiatek to explain why. Now, we've been using the existing point-by-point breakdown of these matches and just rearranging where the sets are divided up. But now, some of these matches never actually took place, so we don't have any existing data to use. Luckily, researchers at Swinburne University, located in, conveniently enough, Australia, have an answer for this. Now, they put forward an analytical model to find the probability a player wins a point on serve. This is the formula. It looks complicated, but really it breaks down into 3 pieces. The average likelihood to win a point on serve for the entire tournament, how better than average the serving player is at serving, and how better than average the receiving player is at returning. This takes a lot of data to figure out. The numbers are out there, but most people don't need to put them together the same way we do. So I pulled data on the top 200 players in the WTA and logged their service win rate, total service points played, receiving win rate, and total receiving points played. Now, unfortunately, the WTA and ATP track thousands of players, so including all of them here would take far too long. But those top 200 players still gives us a large amount of data to play with. We're also taking data from 2019, so that we have a full season's worth of numbers, rather than just the 1 month of 2020 leading up to the Australian Open. For the WTA, we logged some 50,000 games each for serving and receiving, and found that your perfectly average WTA player wins the point when serving 56.98% of the time, and the point when receiving 43.46% of the time. We also have to get the averages for the 2020 Australian Open, too. This one's a little easier, since we're just looking at the 127 matches played this year. But that's still 18,000 points served. On average, you were likely to win a point while serving 57.28% of the time at the Open. Now we can plug all of the numbers we've collected into our formula for each player. In this simulated matchup, Iga Swiatek has a 57.06% chance of winning each of her service points. For Sabalenka, it's 59.36%. But just because Sabalenka has a higher probability of winning doesn't guarantee her the match. We still have to simulate every point played the same way as before. Again, I won't bore you with every single point, but Sabalenka comes out on top. We do this for all 4 of the matches we have to simulate in the second round. And in the end, besides Sabalenka's victory over Swiatek, there was only one other match that ended up having a new winner. Ajla Tomljanovic ends up beating runner-up Garbiñe Muguruza. This wasn't a simulated match either. We had to fill in a few tiebreaks and the remainder of the 4th set, but Tomljanovic wins handily. So now, both of our 2020 finalists are out of the running, thanks to our rule change. That eliminates any easy answers for who will end up on top. We have to keep going to find out. While the second round mostly stuck to the script, the third round gets hectic. Of the 16 matches played, 6 ended up with different results. The highlights: we already know that Sofia Kenin loses to Zhang Shuai, but Naomi Osaka is redeemed against Coco Gauff, winning in 4 sets. Serena Williams also manages to change her luck. Elena Svitolina beats the newly welcomed Tomljanovic, and Karolina Pliskova comes back to beat Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Because of all of these new results, we have to simulate 6 of the 8 fourth round matches. By the end of it, Ashley Barty, Petra Kvitova, and Anett Kontaveit are the only players who are still exactly where they were in January. Naomi Osaka, Serena Williams, Elise Mertens, Kiki Bertens, and Angelique Kerber round out the rest of the quarterfinals. Who do you think will win? While all of this change is exciting, it's worth pausing to see what we lost in the simulation. Coco Gauff doesn't become the youngest player since 1991 to score a top 5 victory. Ons Jabeur doesn't become the first Arab woman to make a Grand Slam singles quarterfinal. For better or worse, this is the path we've chosen to explore, so let's barrel ahead to the finish. Ashley Barty defeats Petra Kvitova in the first quarterfinal match. She's our last surviving player from the original timeline. Naomi Osaka defeats Serena Williams, ending Serena's bid for a 24th major, but keeping Osaka's hopes alive to repeat as champion. Kontaveit defeats Mertens, despite dropping the first 2 sets 1-4, 0-4. And Kiki Bertens defeats Angelique Kerber to make it to just her 2nd Grand Slam semifinal ever. Barty and Osaka battle it out, including an 8-6 tiebreaker in the second set, but Osaka comes out on top. She's into her second straight Australian Open final, and has to be seen as the favorite to defend her title. Kiki Bertens takes the opening set 0-4 against Anett Kontaveit, but can't hold on. So far, Kontaveit has become the first Estonian player, female or male, to reach the Australian Open quarters, semis, and now finals. So here we are. It's the Australian Open 2020 finals, as they could have happened with a first-to-four no-ad scoring system. Naomi Osaka, the defending champion, is facing off against Anett Kontaveit, a surprise presence to say the least. If Osaka wins the simulation, it's redemption for a disappointingly early exit. If Kontaveit wins, it would mark her breakthrough. Kontaveit manages to take the first set, 4-2. The second set goes to a tiebreak, but Osaka comes out ahead after 18 points of back and forth. The third set is much easier for her, and Osaka wins again, 4-2. But some bad breaks allow Kontaveit to even the score, 1-4. They're tied with 2 sets each and just one more to play. Now, this is where I start to believe that random chance has just as much love for a good ending as I do. Kontaveit takes the first game, Osaka takes the second. 1-1 becomes 2-2 becomes 3-3, because, of course, the deciding fifth set has to go to a tiebreak. Kontaveit manages to break Osaka, but Osaka breaks her right back. They're tied 5-5. Osaka is broken one more time, and Kontaveit capitalizes. Anett Kontaveit wins the 2020 Australian Open. I made a guess after I realized Kenin wouldn't win with the new rule change. I thought that someone with a big serve who just got unlucky the day of would turn things around and win the tournament. My romantic side said Serena Williams. My head said maybe Osaka or Karolina Pliskova. But no, Anett Kontaveit is now a Grand Slam champion. Kind of. Both the current rules and our proposed change gave us the same result. Someone we never saw coming takes the trophy. Just for fun, I ran the same simulation for the ATP final. Team wins in 4 sets. And to me, the best part about tennis is the uncertainty. On any given day, anyone can come out on top. Maybe first to 4, no advantage scoring can bring more tension to the matches. It's worth a try.